Welcome to GardenBound. Today, we're diving into a fascinating topic that can transform the way you approach gardening. Garden microclimates. Have you ever noticed that certain areas of your garden seem to flourish while others struggle? Maybe that sunny patch by the fence is always dry, or the corner under the tree stays cool and damp. These variations are more than just quirks. They're microclimates, and understanding them can be the key to creating a thriving, beautiful garden. At GardenBound, we believe that gardening is as much an art as it is a science. Recognizing and leveraging the unique microclimates in your own garden can unlock a world of possibilities, allowing you to grow healthier plants and enjoy a more bountiful harvest. In this video, we'll explore what microclimates are, how to identify them, and how you can use this knowledge to your advantage. Let's get started. In the intricate dance of gardening, aligning the right plant with the right microclimate is akin to finding the perfect partner for a waltz. Understanding and leveraging microclimates can make the difference between a garden that struggles and one that thrives. Each garden, no matter its size, harbors a mosaic of microclimates, distinctive areas where temperature, moisture, sunlight, and wind conditions differ subtly but significantly. To optimize plant growth, gardeners must match these microclimates with plants that are naturally suited to those specific conditions. Choosing plants for sunny and warm microclimates. Areas of your garden that bask in full sunlight for most of the day and are sheltered from prevailing winds often develop warm microclimates. These spots are ideal for sun-loving and heat-tolerant plants. Consider planting Mediterranean herbs such as rosemary, lavender, and thyme. These herbs thrive in hot, sunny conditions and can handle the well-drained soil that typically accompanies these microclimates. Succulents and cacti, with their water-storing capabilities, also flourish in these environments, making them perfect choices for dry, sun-drenched areas. Plants for shady and cool microclimates. Conversely, shady areas under the canopy of trees or along the north side of buildings create cooler, more humid microclimates. These spots can be challenging but are perfect for shade-loving plants that crave moisture. Ferns are a classic choice for such conditions. Varieties like the maidenhair fern and Japanese painted fern thrive in damp, shaded areas, adding lush greenery and texture to your garden. Hostas are another excellent option for shady spots, offering vibrant foliage that ranges from deep green to variegated patterns. For those looking to add a touch of color, astilbes with their feathery blooms and eucharis with their colorful leaves can brighten up these cool, moist areas. Adapting to variable. Microclimates. Some garden spots experience more variability, like edges of paths or areas near reflective surfaces where the light and temperature fluctuate more. Plants like daylilies and geraniums are versatile and can adapt to these changing conditions. They are hardy enough to handle a mix of sun and shade, and their robust nature makes them suitable for less predictable microclimates. Microclimates near structures. The proximity to buildings, fences, or walls can also create unique microclimates. These structures often reflect sunlight and retain heat, creating warm pockets even in cooler climates. Climbing roses, ivy, and clematis can thrive in these sheltered, warmer areas. Meanwhile, plants like hollyhocks and dahlias do well near walls that provide protection from wind and a slight boost in temperature. Planning and experimentation. Matching plants to their ideal microclimates involves a bit of observation and experimentation. Take note of how different areas of your garden behave throughout the seasons. Measure sunlight exposure, monitor soil moisture, and observe temperature variations. This information will guide you in selecting the right plants for each microclimate. Remember, the goal is to work with nature, not against it. By placing plants where they naturally thrive, you not only reduce the need for intensive care, but also create a more resilient and flourishing garden ecosystem. Mapping the microclimates within your garden is a crucial step in understanding how to best utilize each unique area. This process involves observing and recording the variations in temperature, moisture, sunlight, and other environmental factors across different parts of your garden. By employing a few essential tools and following systematic techniques, you can create a detailed map that highlights the microclimates in your garden, enabling you to make informed planting decisions. Essential tools for mapping microclimates. Thermometers. Temperature is a defining characteristic of microclimates. Using multiple thermometers placed at various locations within your garden can help you track temperature differences. Digital thermometers with data logging capabilities can provide continuous readings throughout the day and night, allowing you to capture the diurnal temperature range and identify warmer and cooler spots. Moisture meters. Soil moisture levels are another critical factor in determining microclimates. Moisture meters are simple tools that measure the water content in the soil. By taking regular readings from different areas, you can identify zones that are consistently wet or dry. This information is invaluable for selecting plants with specific moisture requirements and for optimizing irrigation strategies. Sunpath diagrams and light meters. Understanding sunlight exposure is vital for plant health. A sunpath diagram can help you visualize the sun's trajectory across your garden throughout the year. This tool is particularly useful for identifying how sunlight patterns change with the seasons. Light meters can measure the intensity of sunlight in various spots, helping you categorize areas as full sun, partial shade, or full shade. Anemometers. Wind patterns also contribute to the formation of microclimates. An anemometer measures wind speed and direction, which can help you determine areas that are wind sheltered or wind exposed. This knowledge is crucial for protecting delicate plants and for creating windbreaks where needed. Next, let's go through a step-by-step guide to observing and recording microclimates. First, conduct an initial survey. Begin by walking through your garden and noting visible differences in plant growth, soil condition, and light exposure. Take a sketch or a map of your garden and mark areas that seem distinct from the rest. Next, set up monitoring equipment. Place thermometers, moisture meters, and light meters at strategic points in your garden. Ensure you have a good spread across different areas, both those you suspect are unique microclimates and those that seem more uniform. Set up anemometers if you need to study wind patterns. Next in line is daily observations. Over the course of a few days or weeks, take regular readings from all your monitoring tools. Aim to collect data at different times of the day, morning, noon, afternoon, and evening, to capture how conditions change. Record these observations systematically. In this list, we can't forget seasonal monitoring. Extend your observations across seasons to understand how microclimates evolve throughout the year. For example, an area that is sunny in summer might be shaded in winter due to the sun's lower angle. Adjust your monitoring points and tools to reflect these seasonal changes. It is crucial in this step-by-step process to analyze and map. Compile your data and compare readings from different locations and times. Look for patterns and anomalies, such as areas that consistently retain more heat or moisture. Use this information to draw a detailed microclimate map of your garden, highlighting areas with similar conditions. Lastly, interpret your data. Use your microclimate map to make informed decisions about plant placement and garden design. For instance, you can allocate sun-loving plants to the warmer, sunny microclimates and shade-tolerant plants to cooler, shaded areas. This map will also guide you in creating new microclimates, such as adding mulching to retain moisture or planting hedges as windbreaks. By meticulously mapping and understanding the microclimates within your garden, you can harness these natural variations to create a more productive and aesthetically pleasing landscape. This process not only enhances your gardening success, but also deepens your connection to the unique environment you are cultivating. Now let's discuss seasonal considerations. Microclimates within your garden are dynamic, shifting with the seasons as sunlight, temperature, and moisture levels change. Recognizing how these seasonal fluctuations affect your garden's microclimates allows you to adapt your planting strategies and ensure your plants thrive year-round. Each season brings its own set of challenges and opportunities, and understanding these can help you make the most of your garden's diverse conditions. Spring is a time of awakening in the garden, but early spring frosts can pose a threat to tender new growth. Microclimates close to walls, fences, or large rocks, which absorb heat during the day and release it slowly at night, can provide a protective buffer against these late frosts. These areas can be ideal for planting early spring vegetables or flowers that are sensitive to cold. However, as spring progresses, areas with full sun exposure begin to warm up quickly. This is the perfect time to utilize these sun-drenched microclimates for planting sun-loving crops like tomatoes and peppers, which thrive in the increasing warmth. Moving into summer, the heat can become intense, particularly in microclimates with prolonged sun exposure or those adjacent to heat-reflective surfaces, like patios or white walls. These hotspots can be too harsh for some plants. To mitigate this, consider installing shade cloths or growing heat-tolerant plants, such as succulents, rosemary, or lavender in these areas. Meanwhile, cooler shaded microclimates, often found under the canopy of trees or on the north side of structures, can provide refuge for plants that suffer in the summer heat. Ferns, hostas, and other shade-loving plants will thrive here, maintaining lush greenery even during the peak of summer. Autumn brings cooler temperatures and less intense sunlight. Microclimates that retain heat longer, such as those with good sun exposure or sheltered from wind, can extend the growing season. These areas are excellent for planting late-season crops like spinach, kale, and radishes, which can continue to produce even as temperatures drop. Additionally, using row covers or mini greenhouses in these microclimates can protect against early frosts and help warm the soil, promoting growth well into the fall. Winter is the most challenging season for many gardens, as cold temperatures and reduced sunlight dominate. Microclimates that are naturally warmer, such as those next to south-facing walls or areas sheltered from prevailing winds, become invaluable. These spots can be used to grow hardy winter vegetables, like cabbages and leeks, or to overwinter perennials that might otherwise struggle in colder parts of the garden. For more sensitive plants, consider using mulch to insulate the roots and reduce soil temperature fluctuations, or constructing windbreaks to protect against harsh winter winds. Adapting to these seasonal changes requires a proactive approach. For example, you might need to relocate potted plants to more suitable microclimates as the seasons change or adjust watering schedules to reflect the different moisture retention levels of soil in winter versus summer. Raised beds or portable cold frames can be strategically placed to take advantage of warm microclimates in winter or to provide additional shade in summer. If you enjoyed this video on understanding microclimates, stay tuned for part 2, where we discuss how to apply this knowledge in your own garden. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more GardenBound content, and until next time, happy gardening.